All right, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? Of course, we got Finn here, just in time. It's a crazy week. Man, I need to hire some help or someone smarter than me. Tell you what. How you doing, Finn? You see Finn right there. Oh, hold on. Maybe we can get... There you go. It's been a great week. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all that stuff. All right, Ann. Cool. This one right here is a piece of work. Had to make an appearance, have this very serious conversation with our guest this week, Will Duffy from The Final Experiment. And man, Finn had to be in the episode. Had to be. It was freaking believable what she did. She came up on the set, obviously, but excuse me, there's a box right over here. There's two boxes actually full of t-shirts. The kiddies don't mess with that ever. But during the episode, this one right here, look at her. Pig in mud. She had to figure out how to claw her way into the box. And then once she was in the box, she lay down on the t-shirts. Just telling you, that's what happened. And stayed in the box the rest of the episode. So, what a piece of work this one is. So gearing up for Elvis Explosion. Oh, my God. Jill, you're right, man. I don't know what it is about animals, but they love me. And Allie, Ronnie's dog, had to be on top of me, that's for sure. I'm not sick. Still got this crazy cough going on. But Will Duffy this week, The Final Experiment. I'm going to help everyone out during this episode, during the intro, to kind of, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, flat earth, this is crazy. And maybe you're right, maybe not. Because most people don't actually know what the flat earth model is. And there is some logic behind it that makes sense. So we'll spend a very short period of time explaining seasons on the flat versus the round earth model, and then get to Will Duffy. And it's going to be an awesome episode, man. Will Sharp. I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he became a millionaire at 33 with investment and financial stuff. Just Google Will Duffy. You'll find out. I didn't even really know this until just before. He's a pastor now also. He's a Christian. But he's doing The Final Experiment. And during my episode, which I ironically called The Experiment, he commented on it and said, hey, have you ever heard of The Final Experiment? So that's how we got in touch. It's going to be a broad reach on this thing, and I think it's going to change some things. There are a gajillion flat earthers out there that, it'll just be interesting to see what happens. See you later, Finn. So anyways, let's look at the comments. Smart Animals, Kathy, what part of Kentucky? Greenup. That sounds like a town in Kentucky. Paducah. Right across the river from Paducah, I believe, is Metropolis, right, Julie? And isn't that like where Superman's supposed to be from? It's not really a metropolis. But anyways. So yeah, this week, The Final Experiment, we're actually latching on to this thing because it's very interesting, number one. Number two, by the time December comes around and they conduct the final experiment, I feel like this is going to have a massive following, and it's so interesting, and I just want to be connected with it. If there's any, millionaires out there or anything like that would love to just, fund about, it's like a little over 30, but by the time you get geared up, you're probably at $40,000. If anyone out there would like to donate $40,000 so I could go on a trip to Antarctica in December, just let me know. Not cheap. And But you figure, number one, you've got all your flights, and you've got. I'm assuming your lodging, and I'm assuming all your meals and everything, because I'm sure that that's going to have to be included. But it is interesting. They're flying from. I imagine it's probably like a flight to Miami, Miami to maybe Santiago, which I was just at, Santiago down to Punta Arenas, which I was just at earlier this year. From Punta Arenas, which, if you recall, some of you might have seen this or not, if you're a member of, if you're a special agent or an agent of any kind on the Ryan Files, you saw my agent-only episode about my trip to South America. But Punta Arenas is like considered the last city on Earth. It's way down the south tip of South America. I was just there and performed. It was awesome and great people. And some of the people still follow the Ryan Files, so that's awesome. But they'll be flying from Punta Arenas, southern tip of South America, 4.5 hours down to where they're going to be at in Antarctica at a base that's at the 80th parallel. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty far south. 90th is obviously the South Pole. So, Heather, how you doing? Fred, you're right. That would be an awesome trip. If you win the lottery, Julie, you and me both. Yeah, 1,000. We're getting close. We're going to get it. And certainly, I think stuff like having Dean Z on was huge. And I've said this all along. The more followers we get, subscriptions we get, the more guests we can have on that are bigger, which is then more subscriptions, so on and so forth. It's amazing. We had a very excellent response to Dean Z, but less than 20% of the people who tuned in to that video subscribed. And so, there you go. Hey, Sheila, I hope you're okay. Sorry I missed you in Atlantic City. Lori Lindsay made her debut on the Ryan Files during the last episode. She's a judge at Elvis Explosion. K. Stern Robinson. How you doing? Kaya. Yeah, so anyways, I mean, the people are out there watching. It's just getting them to subscribe. And I think part of that too is, and nothing untoward meant by this, but it's, the YouTube game is a younger generation. Obviously, I'm doing this and I don't even know how to do it. That's why I missed AC. Margaret, Ryan, where my Ryan Pal is quite curious and going. Yeah, it is funny. I wear those T-shirts around town, and people will be like, "Okay, what's that about?" Because it says, "Are you not curious?" And I'll turn around and they'll scan the QR code, and boom, here we go. Yeah, we missed you and Tony, Sheila, for sure. So this week's episode, please tune in, and I will try my best to help explain a couple things that I think that people just don't wrap their heads around with the flat Earth model versus the round Earth model and how seasons happen. And this is all predicated on summer at the South Pole, which is in December. Unlike the North Pole, December's kind of, winter. So it's a very simple and brilliant idea. And it's going to, one way or another, like I say in the episode, it's checkmate. One way or another, we will officially know. So anyways, Westbury, yes, I'll be there, Margaret, in not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. Erica Bain, hello. Sheila Sutton said hello to Lori. All right. So, awesome episode upcoming next week. Tune in. I'm trying to think where I want to go next. Okay. Elvis Explosion obviously is coming up. Last week we had the episode. And man, I'm not asking for your sympathy or pity on this. Okay. I take it on, and, as hard as it is, and it is hard, I love it. I enjoy it. And Working with Ronnie is awesome and crazy, and he drives me insane. But I love him. I love him. When I say he drives me insane, I'm not saying anything mean about the guy. He's old school, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, but he's awesome at what he does. He's good at what he does, no doubt about it. He just needs someone sometimes, I think, to modernize some things and whatnot. But I love it. I'll be like, hey, Ronnie, can you send me the list of contestants in a document? And he'll text me back and he'll say, what's a document? So I love that. It's old school. I'll say, hey, can you send me a list of the contestants? And he'll take a picture of a hand-drawn, with all his little notes on it and whatnot, piece of paper that has it all written out. I mean, all right, thank you. But it is awesome. This year, Elvis Explosion, I think in all the years I have been at Elvis Explosion, this is going to be the biggest one in terms of contestants and commitments to be there. So I'm fully expecting over 30 contestants, which is huge. Let's see what we got here. Erica, hello. Yeah, Sheila, Lacrosse is awesome. My folks, that's Eric Pelton right there. They're going to miss Elvis Explosion because they're going to be in Africa. I don't know, safaris or South Africa. I don't know what they're doing. They're just, they're younger than me. But hey Dad, if you got, a little extra 40 grand on you, you want to support my trip to Antarctica, just let me know. I watched Elvis Explosion last year. Yeah, buy the All Access weekend. We're going to get into the streaming in a second. Yeah, Ronnie's awesome. Does my dad have a flip phone? Are you talking about my dad? Boy, I tell you what, I almost wish he had a flip phone. He can't. God bless him. He's got hearing aids. My dad, he's awesome, but he's got, he worked with aircraft for all of his life. So they're loud, and obviously probably you get a little older, you have hearing issues. So he has these hearing aids, and they're awesome, and they can hook up Bluetooth to your cell phone. But they also hook up Bluetooth to like the TV and everything else. And, sometimes you don't know what you're hooked up to, and conversations on the phone can be very interesting. But when they're hooked up and everything's right, it's awesome. I can actually have a cool conversation with my dad. And I told him, I said, hey, I'll probably be at your place in January. So if I visit in January, we're just going to have an ongoing phone call all day long where I'll have these on, my AfterShokz, which are awesome. They don't go in your ear. Cranium bone conductive. You actually hear through your skull. And then you'll have your hearing aids in, and we can just have a phone call and actually be able to talk to each other instead of, huh? What? Hey, what'd you say, Ryan? Anyways. Let's see what we got here. Go Peltons Enjoy, yeah. They're going to have a good time in Africa. I'm proud of them doing that. I love that, man. You know where I get it from, right? So, back to Elvis Explosion. The live stream is, it's a thing that's kind of grown over the years. It's very interesting. When I never volunteered the thought of doing it. I've talked about doing stuff like that. I've seen how, Legends kind of wanted to do some stuff like that. So it was in my mind, but actually Basha and Ronnie came to me and they were like, hey, could you live stream it? I was like, well, I don't know anything about live streaming. And the irony is that I still don't. But, I've learned along the way. And there's people that do this every day that are far better at it than me. And I'm learning as I go. If I was to do it every day, not unlike this, if I was to do it every day, I feel like within a matter of a week or two, I could be really efficient at it. But when you're not working with the software all the time, it's almost like you relearn it every time you do it. But gear is essential, no doubt about it. The quality of your gear is directly related to the quality of your live stream, and we found that out. I've found that out kind of the hard way, because one of the things that come into play at Elvis Explosion is our sound company and our lighting company. They put on a great show, but they have LED lighting, and if you know anything about LED lights, they're blinking on and off like super fast, so that you can't really notice that with your eyes, but digital sensors, digital cameras, and whatnot do see that. And so if you have an automatic focus on something that is light, dark, yeah, like doing like this, it's hard for that automatic focus to focus in on something, let alone the fact that you have a dark stage lit up, a spotlight on, and guys in white jumpsuits, which you know how the white spotlight will blow it out. We've all tried to take a picture of someone wearing something white with a spotlight maybe on them. It blows out the autofocus. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge to say the least. But this is the first year I decided that, hey, number one, let's make this as affordable as we can. The economy's a little crazy. Everything costs more. So let's try to make this as affordable as possible. And if you go to kingexplosion.com, prices are far more reasonable than they've been ever before. And yet I feel like we're going to up the quality. So check it out. One of the things I've done here is right here, this new Canon 4K camera that is, it's awesome. But it has a hybrid sensor, autofocus sensor, that usually in years past you've had to, have like a, like a 10,000 plus is kind of like the number, $10,000 plus to get a camera with this kind of autofocus. So this year we'll be bringing this guy right here into Elvis Explosion, and maybe one other camera. So we're going to limit the number of cameras that we have, but the quality will be better. So this cat right here, big difference. And Canon makes excellent products, but the hybrid focus on this camera will, I feel like, really elevate it. Plus it's 4K 20x zoom, so I think that's going to be an awesome thing for Elvis Explosion. Now the other thing that we have, I don't know, last year I did a video, and you can go back in the Ryan files and find it. I built this big, huge, massive road case because there's so much gear to do. We were trying to do 4 or 5 cameras, and we just couldn't get it all to work the way we wanted it to work, and not with the number of people that we've had. And that's part of the thing. Like if Elvis Explosion's live stream was making, $50,000, yeah, obviously we would have multiple people and a team and whatnot. It's not that. We get a significant number of people watching it, not as many as we'd like. So how do you balance that out? And, all that I want to do is give the best reasonable price I can and the best quality. Unfortunately, some of that comes from, Ronnie, like, hey, this is our budget. So I'm going to be trying to run this thing myself this year. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. But in doing that, get smarter, and definitely doing that this year. Last year's amount of gear with the road case I took was probably 50% less than I've ever taken before. I probably had a kilometer and a half worth of Cat 6 cables and power cables and everything like that. But not this year. This year, only 2 cameras, wireless. I'll be at the back of the house next to the sound booth, which will help. We're going to be getting a direct audio signal of the house mix, not the monitor mix. But this little baby right here, this is a difference maker. And I'll show you why. All right, so this is just a briefcase, a road case, whatever you want to call it. But if you open it up, first thing you'll see is right here is your monitor for your camera switcher, and your camera switcher's right here, obviously. So it's a 4-channel camera switcher, audio mixer, everything that you need for live streaming. It has a built-in fan right here, which is awesome. You can run off of a power bank if you want to, off of DC, so you don't even have to have it plugged in, which is awesome. Now, for some of you who don't know what this stuff is, you're probably like, yeah, okay, so what, who cares? But I can tell you this unit right here, what I had before would be multiple road cases and whatnot. So this is awesome. And then if you look at the back, and let me see if I can zoom in on that. I don't know if I can or not, but there you go. So you have all your inputs. You have your power right here, microphone in, 4 HDMI ins. That's for your cameras. The HDMI out is for that's the video feed that is, the program that people are going to see. But it'll get connected to the computer right here through these HDMI cables. Have the ability to network everything together with the network cable there. And then, of course, your DC options and whatnot. The other thing that's really cool about this awesome unit is that right here in the very front, you see it right here, you can put a SD card in there and record your output before it goes, through your live streaming process, and sometimes that will decrease the value of the quality of the video. So it's awesome to have that option as well. And so yeah, pretty cool. And it is cool equipment. Don't get me wrong. I feel like James Bond, but it's also necessary. It's like when you're trying to do something all by yourself, you've got to have the shortcuts, and it certainly creates them. So this camera and that unit, awesome. Amy appreciates that fancy equipment. She's jealous because she's normally the only person who gets 25 Amazon packages a day. And I'm just kidding. She's awesome. I'll bring some cards to Westbury, Penns Peak. We're going to talk about Penns Peak in a second. What else do I want to say? Oh, today. Boom. Yes. Amy, don't watch this. Today, I got a book that I've been searching for, trying to get for a while. I heard about it from Timothy Alberino. This book is called Cydonia, The Secret Chronicles of Mars by David E. Flynn. This is a used copy. Well over $100. I'll just say that. You see what the print's like. Not very many pictures. So, but there's some really cool things about this book that we will be discussing on the Ryan Files down the road. So, Cydonia, very interesting stuff, and I'm excited I have it. I have it in my book collection now, and this will remain on my bookshelf. Very excellent quality, even though it is used, but it's hard to find. So, yeah, anyways, we won't say how much I spent for it. All right, Amy, you're allowed to come back. All right. So the final thing is Penn's Peak. Oh no, let's go back to Elvis Explosion. If you're interested in the live stream, go to kingexplosion.com. King Explosion, not Elvis Explosion. Somebody in Europe has Elvis Explosion, so it's kingexplosion.com. You can buy tickets to the event. You can get all the information and whatnot at kingexplosion.com. Get the live stream if you're not going to be there, and it's really affordable. It really is affordable. It's all weekend, 5 different events. I will be performing in 4 of those events, maybe all 5. I'm not sure, but get it, and like you can watch it for like 60 days, after the fact. So if you're whatever doing something else, just log on later and watch it. Which is kind of nice. And that's through Vimeo. You have to go set up a Vimeo account. If you get the live stream, you'll get an email with all the information on what you need to do. And I'm probably going to, in the next, week or so, when I test out my entire live streaming system, I'll do it here. I'll send that out to all the agents, which I appreciate, special agents, double O agents, where I'll give you the login and password and whatnot for some of the stuff that I'll be testing on Vimeo, and you can watch that, and actually you could probably help me out just by telling me everything I'm doing wrong, which there will be quite a bit of that. But here's a little bit of kind of a behind the scenes thing, which we haven't made public yet, but I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes. Let me see if there's any comments here. I watched Elvis trivia. Malika, I believe it is. Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. Will you be doing a gospel show? Yeah, I'll be part of the gospel show up in La Crosse. Sunday morning gospel show. Appreciate you, Malika. Become an agent. Thank you. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, anyway, to it. Here's a little inside. You didn't hear it here, but we've got a couple of dudes, and there might be more than this. And if I'm missing someone, please forgive me. Okay. But I just know 2 specific ones. We're hoping Riley Jenkins can be at Elvis Explosion this year. Riley, if you're out there, we'd love to have you. I know that you somewhat committed to it, but I know that Memphis is going on right now in the Ultimate. But we have like Jimmy Holmes in the Ultimate, who is a contestant. We have Moses Snow in the Ultimate, who is a contestant at Elvis Explosion, or has committed to be. Riley Jenkins, he won the Branson Elvis Festival at the Ultimate, has said he wants to be at Elvis Explosion. If any of these guys are to win the Ultimate, most guys that win the Ultimate don't compete in contests after that, which we totally understand and support. So what we're going to do is bring them in as an additional headliner. Let's go. Let's go. So, yeah. So I think that's cool. And that's what Jimmy kind of talked about that a little bit last week on the Ryan Files, that he was going to be there no matter what. So wouldn't it be awesome, to have one of the guys that just won the Ultimate just a few weeks later be at Elvis Explosion, either be there live, or or via the live stream. So that's awesome. And beyond that, I want to do something special for all the people that follow the Ryan Files that are coming out to Elvis Explosion. Not exactly sure what yet, but we're definitely going to meet and somehow do a Friday night mic drop. Obviously, Friday night, we're going to be in the middle of the first semifinal round, so we can't do it live. But we got to figure it out. So if you're there, If you have any ideas, you can email me, the RyanPeltonFiles@gmail.com, or get out somehow. I'm sure you can get a hold of me, or just put it up on the comments right there. The final thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and I appreciate you guys. I know this is a little longer maybe than normal. Amy's cooking some awesome food. I am so hungry, and I smell it, and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. It's awesome. So in December, 6, 7, 4, 5. I think it's like the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'm not exactly sure of those dates, but it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be at Penns Peak in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. Got so many great memories of Pennsylvania and the fans and the friends that I've made over the years in Pennsylvania. Some of them showed up to Atlantic City, but man, it's almost the perfect centralized location right there at Penns Peak, because there's so many fairs, festivals, and whatnot I did over the years, and a chance to just hang out, talk to people, have some fun. So Penns Peak is going to be awesome, but I got to watch what I say here. So on Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be doing a matinee show at Penns Peak. What they do is they bring in buses for those matinee shows. And during those matinee shows, it's cool. If you want to come out to those, that's fine. But on Friday or Saturday, I will be doing the main show at night. And those are the shows to come out and see. No doubt about it. Please come out and see the nighttime shows. But yeah, the matinee shows are matinee shows. Not any different in terms of, oh, Margaret, you can come to Penns Peak, for crying out loud. You're not that far away. They're not any differences in terms of approach or whatnot on the stage. But the one thing that you do find in all entertainment is that entertainment is based upon a transfer of energy between the stage and the audience and back and forth. And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes matinee audience will be a little bit older and less likely to respond to that energy or throw it back. And so your experience as a fan is based, all things being fair and equitable, the audience can make or break, not make or break, but they can elevate a show, no doubt about it. So, yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday is a possible different show. Now, I'm working this out, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I feel like we're getting very close to possibly being able to bring back, once and for all, to Pennsylvania, one of the best shows I've ever been a part of, produced, written, all that. The Day the Music Didn't Die. It's fantastic. Imagine, now you remember Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens died in a plane crash. And what a tragedy. And they call that The Day the Music Died. And you've all heard the song, of course, The Day the Music Died. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. That whole thing. What would have happened? Just imagine this. What happens if that plane never crashed? And Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper were still around. And that you could see them live on stage in December at Penns Peak. Think about that. And every time I've done this show, we had it for a month-long run. We had it at a number of casinos. Every time, tears in eyes, standing ovation. People love it. And we were trying to get it out there big time because it is a beautiful show. Very entertaining, funny, all the things you want in a good show. The pandemic happened. and kind of shut things down. So, yeah, it is one of those things that I am so proud. If we can get this to happen, if we can make it work, to have that show at Penns Peak is amazing. So I'm really looking forward to finding out. I hope by next week to be able to maybe officially announce it, but we're working on it right now. That would be awesome. Moreover, I'm not going to say all the names, but I'll just say two. I'm just going to tease you with two names right now. My buddy Andrew Hammond, who's now working in the entertainment department of a casino in Minnesota with two beautiful kids, a wife and cats and everything else. Andrew Hammond is making a return with The Difference to be the drummer on this show, all these shows, whatever they end up being, as well as Brett Marcel Lacasse, who was in an episode earlier this year, the gentleman who has become an airline or a pilot for a certain wealthy man. And so he's going to be back on guitar. So it's going to be a really cool homecoming kind of a situation. You just never know how many more times you get a chance to do all this stuff. And, of course, at Penns Peak, we will once again have some sort of a get-together for those who followed the Bryan Files. So it's going to be awesome. And I hope that we can get this thing figured out and get all the tickets on sale. And I hope I can see you either at Elvis Explosion and or at Penns Peak later in the year in December. So let's see. Sheila, I've suggested my old people's group to do a bus trip to Penns Peak. Well, Sheila, I'm sure that's not the name of your group. You're not old. You're young. You're young at heart. Yeah, Deneen it would be awesome, and I'm hoping Sheila Sutton. What venue? Penns Peak, Sheila. Oh, what venue for the meet and greet or the get together? I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Fred, awesome. Would be great to see. Andrew and those kids are awesome. So it's all going to be good. Lola from Canada might make an appearance. All right. So I've pretty much covered everything I want to cover, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. And I'm going to get better at all this. Okay. I am going to get better at all this. Ryan, I was bringing you an Italian gyro from the Italian deli here, but with this listeria outbreak from cold cuts, I can't now. Sorry. You would have loved it. Well, hey, listeria. I don't even know about all that. So, yeah, okay. Well, I hope you can be there too, Lola. Let's not bring any listeria to any of these events, and that's awesome. Now, I'm going to try this. If you're hardcore, when I sign off, you might want to watch to the very end, not the first ending, but the second ending, because every week I've done this, I'm too slow, and I, the camera comes back to me going like this on the computer. So I have something that I've tried to put into place this week that maybe will, I don't know, maybe help out. So that's it. I appreciate all you guys. Got some editing work to do tonight and a number of other things and some awesome food that's going to be ready, I guess, in about an hour. So I appreciate y'all. Tune in next week. Share it, man. This is going to end up being bigger than I think anybody can realize. The final experiment with Will Duffy. Google Will Duffy, and you'll find out a little bit more about him. So that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Keep on rocking. Stay curious. Curiosity is important in this life. Don't listen to everything you're being told. And if anybody knows a millionaire who wants to lend me $40,000 to go to Antarctica in December, I'm on board. All right. Love you guys. Keep on rocking. Let's see what we can do here.